The other one third, or just over one third, is that they had an abnormality in their sugar metabolism. They didn't even know about it. And then I found that about 10% of them were actually diabetic, and they didn't even know they had diabetes. So there's a condition called glucose intolerance. That means your sugar level is a little high, but not high enough to make a diagnosis of diabetes. So I found that at least half of my patients in whom I didn't have a diagnosis of diabetes actually had slightly elevated sugar levels. And then that got me thinking that why is this happening? And right around that time, we were realizing that insulin levels are really high in these patients, and that type 2 diabetes is a case of hyperinsulinemia. So let me just explain that a little bit for the audience. So what happens is that in these patients, they develop high insulin levels, which keeps the sugar level down. So when you do the glucose tolerance, it doesn't look too bad. And you look at the blood test called a hemoglobin A1C, which is a test to see what your blood sugar has been doing over the last few weeks. They also stay nice and low. So, but the problem is the insulin level is so high, and I found that on my patients, that the insulin levels were so high for 10 years, 12 years before they become diabetic. So it's finally when the insulin just can't keep the sugar down, the sugar starts going up, you say, oh, now you have diabetes. But guess what? He's already had high insulin for by at least 10 to 12 years.